If you're thinking about buying or selling a house in Queen Anne's County, you need to see these numbers. Here's how things are shaping up for the last month of 2025 and into the first quarter of 2026 so far. And what we're seeing, the market is telling us some very interesting things. Hi, I'm David Moore, team leader of David J. Moore and Associates, and today I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in our local real estate market and what it actually means for you. So let's start with the headline numbers. In the last 60 days, we saw 48 home sales. Homes went to closing, which is great. In Queen Anne's County, that was roughly $31 million in total sales volume. The average sales price came in right around $640,000. It was actually $639,685, while the median, which filters out those ultra luxury sales and those super low end sales, sits right around $500,000. So here's what sellers need to know. Homes are selling right at 97.4% of the asking price on average. That tells us pricing strategy is critical in this market. You have to price it right from the start or expect to leave money on the table. So now here's the big question everyone's been asking me lately. It was a big topic at holiday parties, and people are still reaching out about this to me. And they're asking, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? So right now we have just over 6 months of inventory on the market. So what does that mean? In real estate terms, anything over 6 months typically favors the buyer, and anything under 6 months favors sellers. So we're sitting on what I'd say is a balanced real estate market that's slightly tilting towards the buyer. But here's the catch, and this is important. 52% of sellers had to reduce their price before finding a buyer. And you know what? This is crazy. The average price reduction was over $51,000. That's why working with an agent who understands pricing strategy is absolutely essential. So let me show you where homes are actually selling. So right now, Stevensville leads with 15 home sales. That's nearly a third of all transactions. Chester had 13, which came in second. And this is interesting. Queenstown had five, but the highest average price at 1.55 million. And Chestertown and Centreville each saw about 4 to 5 apiece. So if you're looking for value, the price per square foot ranges from around $206 to $343, depending on where you're looking. Centreville is towards the lower end of that. Queenstown is towards the higher end of that. And that's mostly because there are a lot of luxury properties in Queenstown, especially down the Carmichael Road area down near Y Island. So that's a significant spread, and it's something to consider when choosing where to buy. So let's talk about who's buying and how they're financing. Right now, conventional loans are dominating the market. It was 56% of all the sales. Cash buyers accounted for about 21% of the sales. And here's an interesting stat. Cash buyers are paying on average $984,000, while the finance buyers are averaging around $553,000. That tells us that cash buyers are targeting our high-end luxury properties here in Queen Anne's County. FHA loans accounted for about 13%, and VA loans were just 4%. So if you're a veteran, you might be missing out on one of the best financing tools available to you. So you'll definitely want to check that out. So let's talk about what's selling. What types of homes buyers are snapping up? So ranchers by far are the most popular, accounting for about 16 sales. That's about a third of all the transactions. The 3 to 4 bedroom sweet spot accounts for 33 of the 48 sales. The average home sold was about 2,329 square feet, right around $261 per square foot. And if you're wondering about the waterfront properties and our luxury stuff, the premium is real. Waterfront homes average $2.18 million compared to the $537,000 for non-waterfront. That's like 4 times the premium to be on the water. It's kind of crazy. But now let's talk about the speed. The average days on market was about 60 with a median of about 46 days. So here's how this breaks down for you and what it really means and how this matters. 44% of homes sold in 30 days or less. 35% of homes sold in 31 to 90 days, and 21% took more than 90 days to sell. And here's a really interesting fact. The fastest selling price point right now is under $400,000, averaging just 23 days on the market. So if you're a buyer in that price range, you really need to move fast. And if you're a seller, you obviously have something that buyers are looking for. So what does all of this mean for you? So if you're selling, pricing it right from day one is key. Half of all sellers had to reduce their price. Don't be one of them because you're leaving money on the table. Get a professional market analysis before you list your house and take a really hard look at it. You probably want to interview a couple of different agents to get their different perspectives on the market. There are a lot of agents out there just listing houses at whatever price they want to just to get the listing. You need someone that's really going to break down the data and understand the market. And if you're a buyer right now, you have some negotiating power. And with over 6 months of inventory on the market right now, that is some serious leverage. Now, it might not be the fancy, fresh new listing that came on the market, but you definitely have some leverage out in this market. But if you're looking under $400,000, those homes are moving fast, so you may not have as much leverage. The key to this is for any buyer in any price range is get pre-approved first before you go out. That way you're ready to act, especially under $400,000. So my name is David Moore, team leader of David J. Moore and Associates. If you want to know exactly what your home is worth or find out about homes coming to the market before everyone else does, and you're thinking about buying, give me a call at 443-733-6477, and I'll be happy to help you out. You can call or text me anytime. And remember, at David J. Moore and Associates, your home sold guaranteed at 100% of the asking price, or I'll pay you the difference. Look forward to hearing